All right, everybody, we are going to do a quick setup for the cardio and flexibility lecture, I guess. Um, so if you go right down to number 7, cardio and flexibility. We'll have a keynote open up. All right, so when we're looking through this PowerPoint, it's pretty straightforward. The things you'll need to know, flexibility and range of motion. I've basically made the same thing. We used to distinguish between the two, and as of now, don't worry about it too much. Just know that you'll be tested on what it means to be flexible. So having the ability to move joints through a full range of motion. All right, be able to apply the fitness principles to flexibility. So anything we talk about with the weight room and cardio, it also applies to flexibility. So here's some examples below there. All right, types of stretching. This is a big part of the upcoming quiz. Make sure you know the definitions of dynamic and static. All right, those are right there. And then the new one is PNF stretching, which is proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation stretching. It's a stretch, relax, and stretch series, and it's a partner stretching style of stretching that involves some work by the person being stretched. So it's some fighting against them, and then some passive relaxation. So we'll go over it in class, but just know that there's a stretch, relax, and stretch component to it. And the reason it does it is because our proprioceptors, those are nerves in our body. They send signals regarding changes in body position. They basically teach us how to relax and go a little bit further. All right, ballistic stretching is another name for dynamic stretching, but it's sort of an old school way that was a little bit faster. So you can still do it. It's just very careful. You have to be very careful to protect yourself against stretching those muscles too fast. Which, as you go up here, if you look at the bottom muscle spindles and GTOs, if those react to some real quick change, they can actually go into a little bit of a panic mode, and it doesn't really help you stretch. All right, so those tie together. All right, basic guidelines that we would talk about all the time. And then for cardio, overall benefits are there. You will need to know the parts of the cardio system and the respiratory system. So heart, blood vessels, spelled that wrong. I'll have to change that, sorry. And then our respiratory system. That's all improved when you train your cardio. Aerobic versus anaerobic we've hit before. Just know that the main X factor is oxygen. You have oxygen while you're training aerobically. Anaerobic, you are training so intensely that you can't supply enough oxygen to keep that effort up. All right, determining your heart rate. We've done that before. We're going to stick with this one right here. The 220 minus the age is the big part. Is the big formula we're going to use. Real simple. Okay, so know how to get to your max heart rate. That's 220 minus age, and then you're just taking that number, multiply it by 0.65 for your threshold, multiply it by 0.90 for your ceiling. So when you guys do it, as a 14, 15-year-old kid, your max heart rate is 204, okay, or 206, sorry, and then you would just multiply that 206 times 0.65, which for you would be somewhere around 130. I don't know the exact number, and the max would be somewhere around 180. Okay, but you need to know how to do the exact numbers for this. All right, know the difference between moderate and vigorous, and know things like the radial artery, the carotid artery, their location, and how to take it. So we've done it all year, where you go for 6 seconds and multiply it by 10 instead of counting over 100 times in a minute. We just get a ballpark figure. All right, so that's our PowerPoint for flexibility and cardio. Just make sure there's nothing else on there. And you should be good to go with just that one PowerPoint, and then the quiz, as always, is down the bottom, flexibility and cardio quiz, and you'll be all set. All right, thank you.